Hello everyone, welcome back to Bonsai Expression. I'm Christoph, and today I thought I'd check out one of my little Chinese elms that I've got. Now, I grew this one from a root cutting from one of my other Chinese elms, and well, it's here, and I'm pretty stoked at this one because I've been growing it for a couple of years, and as I say, it was just a root cutting, and it was no bigger than my finger, just like this. Stuck it in some soil. Hey presto, a couple of years later, bit of a trim. Do you know what? I'm not even. Just check this out. Look how twigginess and grown, and I'm really proud of the way this is coming along. This is looking spectacular. Now, okay, this top section is probably a little bit long for what it is. Probably does need a little bit of work reducing in height. It's got a bit of a lean going on for sure. This thing is looking spectacular. I mean, if you just think this is developed from a root cutting. Now, let me get you in a little bit. No, just got to move out. Sorry, my grafted, my grafted ginkgo is right here, and it's just in my way. So this section here is actually the root prune. So when I was doing work on one of my other Chinese elms, you can see the cut there, just here. So this is where I snipped it off on the main tree, and I planted this. And this section here has grown, and then I've developed everything else. As you can see, we've developed everything else from the root cutting itself. So if you're wondering, Chinese elms take cuttings absolutely from anywhere, including root cuttings. This is why I love this species. Elms, fantastic to work on. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner, if you're advanced, intermediate. Chinese elms, including English American elms have quite larger leaves, a little bit more harder to reduce, but they do make awesome big trees if you want to work on a bonsai that's slightly larger. But Chinese elms and English elms are called a witch elm, I do believe. Slight different variation. I do have a couple of smaller ones. In fact, just let me show you one of my witch elms I've got just here. If I can get it out. There we go. So this is a witch elm. So as you can see, they are quite similar to look at. I'll just place that down. Leaf pattern are pretty much identical as well, just slightly bigger than the Chinese elm. But again, all elms pretty much, but they're like weeds. They grow up from anything, and they're awesome. So this one we're going to be working on today. I'm just going to give it a little pruning back, get it into some sort of, well, it's already in a shape, as you can see. I'm just going to bring everything back a little bit. It's a little bit leggy. I let it grow a little bit wild, make sure it's healthy before we did this work. And as you can see, it just looks unreal. I'm really proud of this one. I would like to get it in a nicer pot this year. Ideally, I want to get it in a nice pot, not just a nicer pot. I want to get it in a nice bonsai pot, and I would like to get this onto my show bench if I ever get around to making one. I would like to get this as part of one of my nicer trees. It is, as I say, if I just move out the camera and get it there, you can see this is nice. I do need to reduce the height to probably here, have it, my leader, possibly this one, continues the leader. It does look really smart. It's a little tall, but overall, generally, the tree is looking really smart. It's coming along nicely. I keep saying it because I am stoked about where this started life as. As I say, just this bit here, this was the root. So, when you're working on your Chinese elms, cut them roots off, plant a couple. Also, plant yourself some cuttings and see what comes of them. Get yourself loads of Chinese elms, work on them, practice on them. They're great trees. Anyway, we're going to be working on this, so let's go over there. Okay, before we get started, I just want to show you this tree in its entirety. So as you can see, this top section has grown a bit long. It's long and leggy, so I want to reduce that, do something about it, probably remove it completely. But first of all, I just want to show you in close detail this section just here. So this is the rootstock that we started with, and as you can see, it's got nice little bit thick. Since well, you really won't know, but it's thickened up quite a lot, and it's got nice movement in it. And as you can see just here, you can see where I did the chop from the main part of the tree, just there, and now it has healed over quite nicely. The bark round the corner, well, around the corner, but around the edges of it is pretty barky. It's not flaking off, but it does like have a nice little transition from the new bark where it's healed to the original bark. And if I move out just a little bit, we've got the first branch just coming off the bottom of it as well. So there you go, you can see from all angles. This is the first branch. This is the front. So the first branch is on the left, the second branch is on the right, and then if I move out just a little bit, they are a little bit long. They just need bringing in just a tad. And then we move up into the tree. It's got a nice little bit of movement, and I've got all the branches set. As you can see, they are towards the back as well, and they are nice and twiggy, and they've grown naturally like this. I haven't done much in terms of pruning. I just let the tree recover, grow, because as I say, it started life as a root, so I wanted the tree just to start growing and do its natural thing, and naturally it has ended up like this. So all I want to do now is come in and start shaping it and styling it correctly. I've done on mine a bit in terms of removing some of the extra branches that it didn't need, but now is the time to actually shorten it, because it's got a hell of a straight bit here and it's tried shooting up. So we will reduce that, and I think what we'll probably do is we'll probably start this as the leader just here, use that as the top section and keep it short. And the tree is looking really nice. So again, because it was just a root, I had it in a smaller pot, so when we come to repot it in the spring, I will put it in a nicer, larger pot. Whether I put it in something nice is a good possibility, because the tree itself is really nice and twiggy, and it would be a good opportunity to show it. Or I could eventually, well, the option is to put it in a pond basket and let it do its thing and grow a little bit more. Now, first things first, what I would like to start with is I've got obviously sections of the tree that just go off skew with. So this one just goes off and up. I'm just going to come in and take that one straight out. I'm not obviously done it neat for the time being. I've just got to work out what sections what needs to be removed. So this one here as well just needs to be taken out. It goes upwards, that doesn't need to be there, so I'll just come in knitting this one up as well. There we go. So anything that just goes up, I'm just looking for, and then I'll take out. So they were just the obvious ones I could see. So this first branch here, it goes out and it goes all the way across here. So for the time being, I don't want it going that far. I'm just going to come out to here, and I'll just reduce it just to that section there for the time being. These parts, I'm going to come back, just bring them back to here. Whoop, and here. Again, they might be too long for the time being, but I'm just going to take them back. I'm going to bring this top section here as well. This is on top of a branch that's established. So again, just going to make nice easy decisions, nothing too major. While we were here, I can also see, if you just scroll up, you can see this one shoots out. I'm just going to come in, neatly take that out, and then I've got this one at the end that scrolls up. That one goes up as well, and so does that one. This one comes up, goes out in the wrong direction. We're just going to nip that one. And then as you can see just at the back here, I've got this one that goes back on itself, so we'll take that one out as well. So nice easy decisions. I'm not going to take any silly stupid decisions so far. We're just going to make the nice easy ones. And let me get you on a tripod so we can see what we've done so far and what we need to do. I've just put you on the tripod so you can see nice and easy decisions that we just made. Anything that was growing up, I've just come in and just took out. Nothing major, but already you can just see I've got a nice flat area. Now, the one I've just took off here, that was going up, has already rectified this area, but this branch, now if I bring you in a little bit here, so this branch, you can see this one here, and then it continues off. At the top of it, just below it, I've got a small branch, but the top section is very heavy. Now if I continue to leave that, it's only going to get more and more thick compared to the bottom branch, which the bottom branch here is nice and slim and slender, which is nice in keeping with the rest of the tree. So the decision, unfortunately, is that has to go. Otherwise, I'll keep thickening that one up. The rest of the tree is nice and slender, and that is the way I want to go on. Just keep the feel of the tree, keeping it nice and slender, and the thick branch on top wasn't allowing me to do that. So it had to be taken out. Okay, so far the rest of the tree is nice and slender. The other thick branch had to be removed. It wouldn't have worked in the final design. Okay, so there you go. You can see the cut that was removed just here. There you go. And you can see the size of that cut. It's almost as thick as the main tree itself. So had I kept that, it would have been as thick as the main trunk line within this growing season, and that is not something we could deal with, or something that would be manageable with just clip and grow in the near future. As we go up in the tree, is what I'm trying to say, the branches need to be smaller, the lower branches need to be thicker, and that is obviously not the case here, so it had to go. Now, while I've got you on this angle, I'm just going to start with this section and then continue with this branch here. So this branch here is a tad too long, but I've got this section here that comes down and then curls back. So I'm just going to come in, and then I've got a couple of little buds here, so I'm just going to come in and I'm going to take that one out. Now the bud is at the bottom here, so it should grow this way. This branch just here grows out this way, and it is far too long. Now if I continue it that long, it comes all the way out, as you can see off screen. I don't want it going that far, so I will like to come in and just cut, and I would like to cut where I would just about here, keeping it nice and short, and the bud is on the back, so it won't intrude on this section here. Now going down on this branch, it comes out and it turns right, it snakes off to the right here, and then it snakes off and it goes back on itself as well. Now obviously I don't want it to snake off back on itself, so I am going to do a cut, but what I would like to do is cut on an angle where the bud then goes off. So the bud is there, and I'm going to cut that way, and it should go this way for the time being. I've also got a branch underneath I am going to remove, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to remove that branch because it is not needed in the design. And then we're going to come in and we're going to shorten this section as well. It doesn't need to be quite that long. In fact, what we can do is just take this one off a little bit more, and then take the ends of that one, just nip it back a little bit. Does it need to split off like that? A bit too far? Possibly not. We could leave it, we could cut it back maybe a bit more. Let me just have a quick spin so I can see. For the time being, I'll leave it. Once I've had a quick check of the rest of the tree, I'll come back and I'll have a proper look. I'm going to move on to this lower branch at the bottom, down here. Just going to come back and I'm going to neaten it. Now when I move these branches, I'm going to try and make it into an arrow point. So from the front, I'm going to aim it So like this. That is how I'm going to try to do it. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to come across. So if I just give it there, I'm going to cut and I'm going to arrow it this way. That's the way I want to do it. So I'm going to take that one off because it goes up. I've already aimed there. So I'm going to cut here on this one, and I'm going to cut here on this one. Take this one back a tiny little bit. That's my arrow piece. So when I mean an arrow, when I cut my branch, I'm aiming to make like an arrow point just like that. So when my tree grows, it grows into a point. So for the end, I'm just going to come in. There we go. I've got a little nub there, grows upwards. I'm just going to take that out. In fact, I'm going to bring that one back just a tiny little bit more. There we go. So you can see, just here, and then I've made an arrow point on both sides. So it now goes like that. So I'm going to give it another spin. See, this long branch goes all the way out. I'm just going to come in, bring it back, just here, and I've got a bit that goes upwards. There we go. So for me, that's a low part of the tree. I think maybe this side, this long branch here, I think maybe the good idea would probably just to bring it back a tiny little bit. But before I do that, I'm going to try and work on, if I just angle you up a little bit. So I've got these other branches just here. So I think I'm going to work on these branches first before I then adjust this one in height. This branch is too long, so if I just turn it to me so I can have a look and adjust that. See how far I need to go with it. Now, I know I've not got you on the best of angles, but I want you to be able to see the tree, because this angle that I've got you on really extremely shows, well, it really shows how extreme this angle is, well, this length of the tree is. Just look how long it is. Now again, just like the maple video, I want to section it off a little bit at a time, just more for my benefit, just so I can have a look. I still think that the tree needs to be reduced possibly to this sort of height, but I want to double check. So first things first is I'm going to come in and I'm going to reduce it and take that section off. And I want to look and see. I'm going to keep going. Will any of these work as a new leader? One section at a time. No, I still think that bit's way too long, so I'm going to come in. I'm going to take that off. Now we're getting better. So let me change the camera angle again and I'll show you what I've just done. Now I've reduced it in height. Now you can see just how much I've taken off, and I have left a little bit more. Now it looks really nice so far from this angle, but as you can see, this is the new leader, only it isn't, because I've still got this section here, and this will end up taking over as the new leader. Now it's come down an awful lot, and I've still got a little bit more. Now, as I said, I thought this was going to be the new leader, and it is going to be, because this is in the wrong place. Ideally, this section here would be down here, and this would be the new leader. So I've got to take this off here. This is where it's got to go. this is going to be the new leader. That's the front, and as you can see, it looks a hell of a lot better. So that's going to be my new leader. I've reduced it in height. It brings it in. It looks way better now, and it's starting to take shape. So the rest of the things I need to do is just continue taking the rest of the branches that are really long. I just need to bring them back. As you can see, we just need to cut paste that up again. We've reduced the height of the leader, which now this section doesn't look as bad. It is probably about, I don't know, 2.5 maybe 3 centimeters. I do have a little bend here, so it's this section here now that's straight. But again, once the rest of the buds pop in that section, it'll fill out and you won't tell. This section here is got a slight bend in it as well. If I turn you can see there. So it's not straight, it's got movement in it. So the rest of the tree is in proportion now correctly, and it's looking mighty fine. So there we go. So let's start reducing this tree properly. We've got this branch here that comes out. It is covering the rest, but it is too long compared to the rest of the tree. So let's start making the right movements on it, which is there and just there for the time being. If I just angle you there, I think it probably is too straight as well. So again, I'm just going to come back and reduce that section. I don't like how long it is. I've got a bud here, just here, but I still think that's possibly too long, but they will bud up, so maybe not. I'm going to come back to that bud anyways. They should bud out in all different directions, so I do like that. I'm going to reduce this one here, and I like how that's starting to look. This top section just up here, I like that, leave that, that will straighten up. It's starting to grow into the leader, but I'm just going to come in and give it a small trim, as well as this section and this one as well. Just a little minor trim there, brings that back, and we will do the same with this one and this one. I don't want anything too growy, as they say. Now I'm going to bring this back down to this one. Now I've brought this into line, I can now bring that just here, and it now gives me the nice angle, and I'll bring it in to here. Gives me the nice shape of my tree that I would like. While doing that as well, bring the back branch back there. That's probably too far back, possibly. We'll go with that. No fact. I'm going to bring that back even further, just like so. Now you can see the branch I've just cut just there. It is a bit straight. Hopefully I'll get a bit more movement in it. In fact, I'm going to go. I've got plenty of buds on this branch here. I'll show you. This branch just here at the back. This one. I've got plenty of buds, so hopefully they'll bud out, and then I'll be able to cut back again with when it gets plenty of movement on it. This front branch is now on an angle. I'm going to bring it back to just there, and then this one that curls round, I'm going to come in I'm going to cut the middle out. Come on, I just need to get in there. Nice and gentle, just like that. Now the question is, this is quite straight. Don't cut this top section off. Let it grow down. And use this section. Well, use this section. Let me have a look. Oh, I think I'll leave it. No, I'll leave it for now. It looks good. I think I do need to reduce this section though. So if I look at that, that's in. This needs coming back. I'm going to take this whole section off there. Okay, I think I took enough off. I took a little bit more off this side. I think it's probably slightly out of proportion from where I want it. This side, if I bring it down, just here, I think maybe this side here is probably slightly too long. Just snip that bit. Overall, I think the tree is now looking in really good shape for how we want it. So if I bring it in, we've got a really nice silhouette. So what I would like to do is hopefully, well it will do because it's a Chinese elm, the buds are going to spit out everywhere up this section. They're probably going to spit out around here as well, and they're going to spit out down here and along all the tree branch line come spring. So this is going to go back in the greenhouse now, and can't wait for this one. This is going to be really good. I really like this tree. It's looking good. My little Chinese elm from a root cutting. I'm really impressed with this little one. Just goes to show you can get a really good little tree just from a root cutting. Give it a go. Anyway, if you like this one, please do give me a thumbs up. Don't forget, please subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Helps the channel out immensely and I'll be very grateful. Anyway, if you like this one, as I say, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day. Bye guys.